Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to try and prove what is in a very chronological, intellectual way. You see, for intellects, we like to uh, have a framework that's unfalsifiable. We want to have certainty. And despite having lots of spiritual experiences at one point, my intellect still found ways to disprove why what I was going through was feeling as though everything was myself was not true. And hopefully by the end of this, I can prove to your intellectual mind that oneness or timelessness is the truth. And if it's the truth, then that's what is. That's what's taking place. That's what you and I are. Because if you have something that is everything, well, that includes this, now, you, I, we, however you want to phrase stuff. Or is it stuff, if it's true? Okay, so let's go. So let's start with just kind of the idea of stuff to begin with. Like this, or this, or this, or whatever's going on in your room. It's there, right? I mean, it has to be. Right? Okay, so the next question of a logical mind is, okay, well, what is it? Okay, so let's look to science, because science seems to be the people with the tools and the degrees and the formulas and the foundations that have the credibility to tell you what is going on. So let's go there. All right, so look into anything, and you want to pause this video, or after this video is done, look into all this for yourself. Really, grapple with it. So look into something. Okay, well, what is something? Okay, well, this is plastic with metal and stuff, and this is flesh and tissue and stuff, and the room is materials and stuff. Okay, well, what is that? Okay, it's organic chemistry, energy, kind of matter stuff that comes from the earth. Oh, okay, good. We're certain about that. Well, what is that? Well, the earth came from a process of stardust and heat and expansion. Okay, good. That's proved. That's stuff. Okay, what is that? Well, it came from a Big Bang, which created time and space and the possibility of all this. Okay, good. It's proved, relatively. It's a theory. Well, we'll call that's what the best stuff we have to date is. What is that? Well, we're not quite sure yet, but at some point we'll be able to look into what it is and find out what it is. Okay, how far can that process go? Well, you either have two possibilities now. You either get to the end of the process, which then you'll have a something called a foundation, which explains everything, or is the equation, or is the something, is the God, is the magic, is the something that then gives rise, or is giving rise, an eternal, something that is the beginning. Or you never get to anywhere. It infinitely goes back and back and back and back and back and back, and it never stops. What is that? That's referred to, I think, as an infinity. There's never a beginning. So if there's never a beginning that you get to, well, what is now? It's a place, a something that never had a beginning, never had a start, never has a now, never has a future. It's just it just never began. It's eternal. There's never been a beginning. And that's what you could say, oh, okay, so you have two possibilities. There's a mysterious foundation or an eternal never beginning. Well, what's a mysterious foundation? Well, a root foundation would be something that never had something under it. So it's always been. It's always been, and an always been has no beginning. It has no now or end. It's always been, and it's always giving rise to itself, which is kind of eerily the same as never a beginning that you never get to, because you never get to the beginning of what something is. They're eerily similar, perhaps the same, but nonetheless, they're both extremely mysterious, and they're not what usually comes off as, oh, I'm here, this is me, this is that. It's all separate. Well, you only have two possibilities: that if you infinitely regress, you either come to something or you don't, and those are mysteriously eternal, never happening, never beginning, never starting, never being here now, or never progressing to somewhere else. And guess what? That's what's now. How could it not be? Now, of course, there'll be thoughts and feelings that come up, like, oh, what's the point? What's the purpose? What is it? What does it do? How come it's here? How? Well, what are those that came up? Oh, they're thoughts. Look into it for yourself. Really, look into it for yourself. They're thoughts. Okay, where do thoughts come from? Well, they come from a body, a mind. Okay, great. Where does that come from? Infinitely regress, infinitely regress, infinitely regress. Back. You get into infinity, right? Or you get back to the foundation that has never began. It's always been there, giving rise. Okay, so all my thoughts and all my problems and all my whys and how comes and what's in it for me's and what am I supposed to do, it all goes back to infinity. It all goes back to something that's still the case. A mysterious, never happening, never began. You can give it any kind of words. You can give it almost any kind of significance. And that's okay, because that's what is. But the important part here is you seeing this for yourself. It usually starts with the question of, like, who am I? Why am I? What is this? And you have to start somewhere. Well, what am I? Well, I'm a body. I'm a mind. I'm a person. I'm a soul. What is that? What is that? What is that? It always infinitely regresses to something. It either keeps going forever, which is an infinity, no beginning, no end, no present, never began. If it never began, it never started. There's no time. Or you get to something, a foundation that gives rise to everything else. Well, what is that? Well, it never began. It's always been there. It's always present. No time. Mysterious. These two possibilities are the same possibility, said different ways. And this possibility, what this pointer is pointing to, is beginning or never began. Here, never here. Forever, never started. Forever and ever and ever, never started. Which includes, well, you could say it doesn't include anything because it is everything. But where am I? Well, it's beyond including you. It's you. It's me. It's everything. It's words. It's nobody. It's the case. Right? Voila, ta-da, here it is. What is that? It's... Alright. So that's pretty much it. It doesn't mean nothingness. It doesn't mean meaningless. It doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean the word good. Doesn't mean the word bad, doesn't mean the word evil, doesn't mean the word divine. And that's pretty much the video. Um, I'll say a little more, just... No, I'll leave that for another video. Alright, so I'm curious what you have to say, think, thought, disagreements. It's always wonderful to hear from you guys. Chat, talk with ourselves, quite literally. Alright, take care, and till next time.